Okay, so I thought, I mean, it's a bit sunny, so it's not exactly sort of a Halloween atmosphere, but still, I'd like to do a Call of Cthulhu game. I really thought a nice Call of Cthulhu, and so there is a very old module, a very old solo game from the 1980s. I think it's 1981, called Alone on Halloween. So we will give it a go. You, as Grant Carter, are a student of journalism at the old and respected Miskatonic University. You're at the top of your class and have won many honours and awards for your top-notch papers, articles and research works in the field of the occult and the paranormal. This is your speciality and your field of interest. You're working now towards a grant that will not only pay for your graduate studies, but also allow you to seriously research the phenomena of ghosts and spectres and other such hauntings. You know that a spectacular thesis on the paranormal should be just what you need to win that grant. It's October the 31st, Halloween night, and you have been chosen to cover a Sabbath of a witch coven in the legend shroud Salem, a very important task as it's the first time outsiders have been invited in to witness such a meeting in Salem. You were picked to cover the event because of your impeccable record, and you feel that this could be the break that you have been waiting for. Accompanying you to the Sabbath is underclassman and good friend Corey Adams, who shares your interest in the unusual. You are in high spirits, as is your friend. Although the night's driving wind and icy rain makes you worry that there won't be much to see at the coven meeting, which you're desperately hoping will go on as planned. As you head out of Arkham, you laugh and joke with your companion and discuss various topics. You are driving. You leave the shimmering yellow and white lights of Arkham behind you as you turn off of Church Street onto Sentinel Street and head out of town towards Salem. Before long, civilization gives way to wilderness and you find yourself on a long, dark, barren road that twists through the desolate forest of now leafless trees. Go to one and begin your adventure. The rain and wind assault your car as you speed along the dark road. An occasional brilliant flash of jagged lightning illuminates the haunting sky and hellish woods on either side of you. After some distance you spot lights from an old brooding mansion set back away from the road on a hill as you pass by quickly. Although you got only a fast glimpse of the immense house, you get an uneasy yet excited feeling as you think of all those haunted house movies you've seen and loved. Make a listen roll. Succeed and go to 12, fail and go to 7. So our listen is, what's our listen? Our listen is only 20. We'll use greens. 20! Oh my lord. Okay, so we succeed at our listen roll. Succeed and go to 12. 12. A gunshot rings out as your back tyre on the driver's side of the car blows out. The car begins to go madly spinning and out of control. You must successfully make a drive automobile roll. Succeed and go to 20, otherwise go to 2. Okay, drive automobile is 40%. 45, that's a fail. Otherwise go to 2. Your car goes madly screaming off the road, spinning and digging up great clouds of mud. A sudden hard impact stops your spinning and plants your car on your side at the base of a tree. The tremendous jolt you and Corey received on impact threw you both roughly against the dashboard. Each of you sustains 1d3 points of damage. So I sustain 1, Corey sustains 3. Oh, poor Corey. So I'm on 10 hit points now, and Corey, who's a bit of a musclehead, is on 12 hit points now. Where are we? Battered and badly shaken, you manage to pull yourself out of the wreckage of your car. You count your blessings as you walk away from what could have been a real tragedy. Tragedy? Tragedy. It's obvious that this car will no longer be of any use to you this evening. You're miles from the nearest town. If you want to wait here for help, go to 26. If you want to try to walk back to the mansion you just passed, go to 41. If you want to try and walk back to town, go to 51. To check the blown out tyre, go to 38. Alright, so there was a gunshot and the tyre went out. I think we should check the tyre, which was 38. You're examining the rims of the rear tyre on the driver's side. Make a spot hidden roll. Alright, our spot hidden, much more rolls than the newer ones. Our spot hidden is 25. What's Corey's? Maybe we can use Corey's. Corey's is 45. Corey will make the spot hidden. So the rules do say that you can use either character for the traits. 33, we both fail anyway. What was that? That was 38. We fail and go to 14. 14. You find nothing unusual, although you can also find no reason for the tyre to have suddenly burst. To wait here for assistance, go to 26. To walk back to the mansion you passed, go to 40. Wow, it is Halloween. Let's go back to that mansion. 41. You cautiously approach the old haunted house, huge and rambling, with steep peaked roofs and high arching windows. A dark, brooding tower stretches up into the black, boiling sky. In a yellow flash of jagged lightning, you get your first clear view of the decaying grounds surrounding the castle-like building. You see the tall, grotesque trees, their limbs twisted and buckled and devoid of foliage, surround the eerie place, contained within a rusty and crooked iron fence, the bars of which are topped with cruel-looking iron spikes. You're cold and wet and long for the warm comfort of a house. So putting aside your feelings of uneasiness, you grab the tarnished door knocker and rap on the towering, splintery door. After a moment, the door creaks open loudly and a slightly hunchbacked man with long white hair and a black coat and towels peers out at you. You quickly introduce yourselves and explain what has happened. The odd man looks blankly at you for a moment and then, with a cold smile, asks you in, introducing himself as O'Brien, the butler. Go to 98. You rush in behind the hunchbacked O'Brien, finding yourself in a cavernous foyer. Foyer. The butler takes your coats, hanging them still dripping in a closet. As you look around the foyer, you are impressed by the many obvious antiques you see. Tall, high-backed chairs of hardwood, lumbering tables, and a large grandfather clock adorn this area. Several paintings hang dustily on the walls, and everything has a light covering of dust and cobwebs, making it seem rather like no one actually lives here. Suddenly there's a crackle from above you. Looking up in the direction from which the sound came, you see a red-haired woman in a maid's uniform descending the creaking stairs. "Visitors?" she asks the woman. The two young people have a problem with their vehicle," explains the butler. "They have come to escape the storm for a time and to see about assistance." You notice now that both the maid and the butler speak with accents. To try and identify the accents, make a success no roll and go to 92. Fail and go to 62. A success no roll. So our EDU, our education, is it education? Yes, I think it's education, which is 85. So it's under that, gives us a no roll. And we got a 16. So we succeed at our no roll. We go to 92. You recognise the butler's accent as being of New Zealand origin and the maid to be Irish. Well, I didn't do either of those. To comment on this, go to 4. To let it pass, go to 74. Let's comment on it. Let's show how intelligent we are and say, "Oh, are you from New Zealand? I notice you have a distinctive British accent with a slight different twist. New Zealand, perhaps?" It's not a British accent. I can tell you an American person wrote this. You ask O'Brien, "And her accent seems strongly Irish?" You tell him as you gesture to the maid. The butler looks at you for a moment and then grins. I'm not going to do a New Zealand. Jups. You're quite... I can't do one. I could if I thought about it. You're quite perceptive for one so young. You're quite perceptive for one so young. I'll go back to that one. You are correct. We were brought to this country to do things for the Baron and his beautiful wife that their busy lives prevent them from doing. We were hired when they moved from the old country. Old country? You question? Yes. The Baron and Baroness are from one of the very oldest German families. One of the oldest families in all of Europe, O'Brien explains. Go to 74. If we'd have gone far enough for me to know, I would have practiced a New Zealand accent. Having living in Australia, I should be able to at least pull together a half-decent New Zealand accent. It's just the distinctive way that a New Zealander would say, "Fish and chops." I could watch Alone Against the Shadows. No, not Alone Against the Shadows. Sorry, what they do in the shadows. That's a Transylvanian tilt on the New Zealand accent. The maid struts up to you very cat-like, her dark eyes piercing right through you. I'll have to change the accent. Miss Quinn, won't you get our guests something to warm themselves? Says O'Brien. Follow me, purrs the brooding maid as she leads you towards a set of double doors. From beyond the doors, you hear the sounds of many voices. We don't want to intrude, you say to the butler. You have arrived on a very special night, he explains. Our employers are celebrating the holiday in all the splendour of old Germany. But do not concern yourselves, for the Baron and the Baroness will love to have you, and would not hear of you going back out into that dreadful weather. At that point, Miss Quinn throws back the double doors. Beyond is a ballroom, furnished complete in very odd and obviously very valuable furniture. Within the chamber are 11 people of varying races, all dressed in black. All attention seems to be centred on a very regal-looking gentleman with a monocle and a very elegant and beautiful woman at his side. O'Brien leads you into the chamber, all eyes turning to you as you, still dripping from the rain, you follow behind the hunchbacked butler, somewhat embarrassed. As you enter the room, you may make one of the following skill rolls: spot hidden, listen, or history. Oh, I do have history. What do we have? Spot hidden, I think his was 45. Listen, mine is 20. Corey's is 35. My history is 25. Corey's history is base 5. So I think it's his spot hidden is the best. So we will spot hidden. Greens, no, fail. If you fail the skill roll of your choice, no matter what, go to 78. O'Brien leads you to the centre of the ballroom where the monocled man and elegant woman are speaking with 3 men. My lord, O'Brien says to the monocled man, bowing slightly, may I introduce some unexpected guests? They have had an accident with their vehicle, are in need of something to warm themselves, and a phone to call for assistance. The man peers at you for a moment, and then, with a very cool smile, introduces himself as Baron Burlade Truschke von Reichshant. Maybe. Extending a gloved hand, first to Corey, and then to you. The Baron gives you a very firm handshake. With a majestic wave of his hand, the Baron introduces his wife, Baroness Diva Adrian von Reichschink. She welcomes you, but does not smile. Remaining rather cold and sombre looking, both the Baroness and the Baron speak with accents, yet there is something about them that does not seem quite right to you. Make an idea roll and go to 76. Fail and go to 64. I think, idea is intelligence. 99. Well, that's a fail. Go to 64. Well, please feel at home. Join our celebrations of the holiday, won't you? Says the Baron in a rather smooth, almost hypnotic voice. It is on holidays such as these that I long for our homeland. How I miss Mother Germany and her beautiful countryside. Ah, but no matter. It is a celebration, not a time for such musings. To inquire more about the Baron's home and how he came to be in the United States, go to 99. To let it pass and make small talk, go to 16. I think, as we have that journalism thing, so I'm not going to let it pass, I go to 99. The Baron looks at you for a moment as you begin to dig into his past with questions of his homeland, but then smiles and answers you. The von Weichhound family is one of the oldest and most respectable families in all of Germany, and I am a direct descendant of the nobility, as my title indicates. I'm a bit French here. I too am a noble, at least in my home country. My family is descended of the Schweizwalds, the blood of Attila the Hun. It's very French. Courses through my veins. A dubious honour, indeed, would you not agree? He laughs. The old country is most dear to me, and even the very soil of the ground is like gold to me. This is how greatly I love the land of my birth. But alas, I was forced to leave my homeland with my ever beautiful wife. You see, in this ever-changing and glowing technological world that we reside in, certain comforts must be abandoned for the betterment of business. Simply put, I am an industrialist, and the benefits of living in your country unfortunately outweigh that love of home. I must keep up with the times, you know. I find the supply of certain raw materials which are crucial to me to be more abundant here and easier to come by. Something that the Baron has said does not sound quite right to you. Something about his family. Succeed with an anthropology roll. Go to 23, fail, go to 16. And we'll get one extra JP for that series of questions. So an anthropology roll. We've got an 01. What does Corey have? Oh man, we do not have anthropology, but you never know. 12. Nope. Fail and go to 16. You continue to make small talk for a few minutes with the talkative Baron, although his wife says nothing except when a question or comment is directed directly at her, which she then answers very curtly. Shortly the maid returns with 2 heavy mugs filled with some beautifully aromatic beverage. The warmed liquid smells like apple cider, yet there is something else, the scent of brandy? You cautiously sip the drink and to your delight find it very warm and pleasing. Corey quickly finishes off his mug. Thanking your host, you follow and find the warm liquid to be just what you needed. You feel more at ease and have managed to shake off some of the cold chill with your still damp clothes. Go to 42. After a few moments you notice the sound seems to be weirdly echoing. Suddenly you become warm and dizzy. Your head begins to spin and your vision blurs. You gaze over at Corey, only to find that your friend has passed out in a chair. As everything begins to go dark, match your power against a 20 on the resistance table. Win the power struggle and go to... Okay, so this is a resistance roll. All right, so I'll just quickly look at which one it was. So this says, so in a 5e, a power against a resistance of 20 on the resistance table means that I should convert that into a percentage roll. So the equivalent of a 20 of power is equivalent to having a 100 power. I have a 90 power. So it will roll and then I will roll and whoever's got the biggest difference is going to win. So it rolls 28. So it has a difference of, what's that? That's 72. So it has, I'll write that down, a 72 difference. I've got a 90. 17. So what's that give me? So a 90, that gives me a 73 difference. That's right, isn't it? That's right. That's right. I got a 73 difference. That means I win. Win the power struggle, go to 1-2-2-1-8. Well, who would have thunk it? They're probably going to cut my head off. You wake up, your head's sore and groggy, go to 2-2-1. You bolt up, looking around. You seem to still be in the ballroom of the manor house, but you're very much alone. A very eerie feeling slithers down your spine, and you shiver. Checking your watch, you see you have been asleep only about an hour. Any hit point loss you suffered in your strange dream has vanished, but sand loss remains. Go to 236. Okay, that was nothing. So nothing for that one. Go to 236. 236. You pull yourself to your feet, head still spinning, and frantically search the ballroom for a sign. Any sign of Corey. Attempt a spot hidden roll. Succeed. Okay. Spot hidden. Our spot hidden is 25. No. So succeed, go to that. Fail, go to 234. You see no sign of your friend. To search the manor house for Corey, go to 228. To abandon him and leave the spooky house, go to 232. So another one. 228. We can't abandon Corey. Searching the manor house. The von Reichhaus manor consists of 3 floors, plus the cellar and a tower. You are now in the ballroom. You may search the rooms and chambers in any order you like, although you should keep to some sort of order. Well, based on the time, maybe we'll do that in the next episode. So I'll finish reading this and then we'll end. You're now on a timetable. Each room you'll search will take you 10 minutes. 1 spot on the timetable. Moving from one floor to another and along halls costs no time, and moving from floor to floor may be done via the stairs or the elevators that are found around the manor house. If an elevator or staircase opens into a room and not a hall, you must go to the appropriate room paragraph and read it, just as though you had picked that room to investigate, marking off the time on the table. Doors are unlocked unless otherwise noted. The appropriate paragraphs for each room are indicated on the number in each room on the house floor plan. In certain instances, there will be a number in the section of the hall. When you pass by this area, go to the paragraph noted. Once you have checked off the last spot on the timetable, go to 647, unless you are involved in combat. If so, go to that paragraph as soon as combat is completed. Unless, of course, you are killed. You may at any time decide to abandon your search and flee the house, in which case go directly to 232. In most cases, there are no trace numbers for the manor house rooms, so you must keep track yourself of where you have been and what chambers you wish to explore. Items that you find in rooms that are meant for you to take or use will be identified as such. You may now begin your desperate search for your friend and companion. You are at 228 on the map. And that's where we will leave Chris Grant trying to desperately find his friend Corey Adams in the weird manor house, alone on Halloween. I thought I'd talk to you because I thought it'd be weird. Behind you! Look out behind you!